Recollect your bodhicitta vow, both in the aspiration and action aspects of that vow, vowing to achieve the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of beings, and vowing to practice to do whatever is required, whatever is needed to achieve that state. So it's a commitment born out of love and compassion, unbiased love and compassion for all beings, and born out of the wisdom, the understanding that the only true and meaningful goal is to achieve Buddhahood for all beings. Then we make the bodhicitta vow in both the aspiration and action aspects. Then that vow, that commitment, that mind is the mind that now would arise as the deity, as the idam. And as for the arising of the idam, try to remember the 5 manifest awakenings. And the 5 awakenings making obvious, making manifest, and not hidden, not dormant, but manifesting. So the first manifest awakening is the manifest awakening of emptiness. So by reciting Om Swabhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Swabhava Shuddho Hang, think that all phenomena are by nature completely pristine, the emptiness of apprehended and apprehender, and only mind. Within that state of emptiness, your own mind arises in the form of the syllable Hung. This Hung is radiating light, giving rise to the Yam syllable, which turns into a mandala of wind. Above this mandala of wind, which is in the shape of a semicircle, green in color, is the Ram syllable, which turns into a mandala of fire, red in color, and a triangle set on top of the semicircle wind mandala. On this mandala of fire, red in color, is the syllable Vam, in which a water mandala, white in color, arising from the syllable Bam. This round water mandala in the center now appears Lam. Arising from Lam is a yellow square mandala of earth. In this way, we are clearing, we are clarifying the elements that constitute this universe, the physical elements that constitute this universe, and the physical elements that constitute our body. Upon these mandalas of the elements, the syllable Sum appears and turns into Mount Meru or Sumeru. Thus the syllable is Sum. This Mount Meru has the 4 precious substances on there. It's built out of these precious substances. In the eastern direction is lapis lazuli. Southern direction is gold. Western direction is red rubies. And northern direction is this green sapphire. At the top of Mount Meru, from the Bum syllable, imagine an exceedingly big lotus seat, which is a lotus flower with the petals in many, many different colors. So this whole visualization should be so large, It's Mount Meru is the cosmic mountain, is on top of the cosmic mountain appears, And if we really let this understand how immensely large this visualization is, then perhaps, there is not even space to consider, is it facing this direction or that direction? Because there's no place for even the habitual you to serve as a reference point. So you, the idam now, will be arising, not in this room that you are seated in, but in the space of the universe. So large, so huge. Where is there any reference point for the mistaken little I? In the center of this lotus appears a cross vajra set flat onto the seat. Above these cross vajras, which is resting in that gigantic lotus, appears the moon seat. On top of the moon seat is the sun seat. Know that this moon cools down all sufferings, all pains, all dissatisfactions, all desires are cooled, all resentment is cooled. And the red sun mandala is the warmth of the sun, the wisdom sun that ripens all qualities. Then now that original Hong syllable, which is the nature of your mind, the essence of your being, this Hong syllable descends onto the seat and gives out light, clearing the obscurations of all beings, transforming them into deities of the Cakrasamvara mandala. And just think that all beings have now turned into deities, into enlightened beings, awakened beings, appearing in all different forms. And they all are part of the mandala of Cakrasamvara, your mandala. The light then gathers back and absorbs into the Hong, bringing in the bodhicitta of all beings, all Buddhas. And from this, the Hong completely turns in a single instant into Cakrasamvara. I'm now on page 27. Cakrasamvara's body is dark blue, blue beryl, pure and luminous like the color of a stainless sky. He has one face and three eyes, with fangs slightly bared. His left leg is bent, pressing on the left ear of black Bhairava, and his right leg is extended, pressing between the breasts of red Kalaratri. With his two hands holding a vajra and bell, he embraces the consort. His head is adorned with a cross vajra on the right side, and top knot of matted hair tied with silk ribbons, in which at the very top is a wish-fulfilling jewel. Then on the left side of this top knot, across from the cross vajra, there is a crescent moon. Wearing on his crown, wearing on the top of his head is 5 dry skulls as a crown. The top of these skulls, they are half vajras. Then a hanging garland of 50 fresh heads is strung on human intestines. So Cakrasamvara is wearing a garland of 50 freshly severed heads. He wears the 6 bone ornaments and also a tiger skin skirt that stretches down. He possesses the 9 dramatic sentiments of amorous, heroic, repulsive, laughter, wrathful, terrifying, compassionate, majestic, and pacifying. These expresses the qualities of exalted body, of exalted speech, and exalted mind, the transformation of these 9 basic emotions in service of benefiting beings. Now on page 29, in his embrace is the consort Bhagavati. Bhagavati Vajavarahi, red in color with 1 face and 3 eyes. Her fangs fully bared. Her hair is loose. She wears a crown of 5 dry skulls and a hanging garland of 50 bone ornaments. And this is referring to 50 heads, but skulls. White skulls, 50 as a necklace, as a mala, and a girdle of bone ornaments, at the bottom of which there are little bells tinkling. With her 2 hands, the right holding a curved knife with a 5-pronged vajra, and the left holding a skull cup of blood, which she embraces and offers to the Father. This is the blood of delusion of all 3 realms. She's wearing 5 types of bone ornaments, mostly naked and united with the Father. Now let your mind rest on this extremely gigantic, filling the whole universe size of Cakrasamvara and Vajravarahi. It's really, if you really experience how big they are filling the whole universe, there's no more space for you to think about. Is it facing this way, facing that way? Are you looking at it? Is it looking at you? There's no space for that. Then from the symbolic actions of light rays radiating from the Hung, which is now at the heart of Cakrasamvara, the host of deities of the Cakrasamvara mandala are invited from their natural abodes as the wisdom beings that we will dissolve into this visualization that we just did. So think of blazing lights going out, inviting the wisdom beings. The wisdom beings have arrived and we make offerings to them. So such as the 8 outer offerings you can mentally make now: water to drink, water to wash, flowers, incense, light, perfume, food, and music. These are the outer offerings. The inner offerings are the 5 senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, meaning all our sense experiences. We elevate them into offerings that are suitable to be given to these wisdom beings, offered to the wisdom beings. Then reciting the 4 syllables of Ja, Hong, Bum, Ho, hooking in, drawing in, binding, and pleasing the wisdom beings, dissolving them completely into the Samaya being, which is what you have visualized. Now the wisdom being and the Samaya being has become inseparable. Then in the 3 places of both the Lord and the Lady, co-emergent Cakrasamvara, in their 3 places, there is white Om, red Ah, blue Hong. Now you should bless the 3 centers of both deities with a white Om in the crown center, red Ah in the throat center, blue Hong in the heart center. And recite a few times of Om Ah Hong. As you recite, bring your mind to the Om when you say Om in the heart, in the crown center. When you say Ah, bring your mind there to the throat center of both the Lord and the Lady. And then with Hong, go to their heart center. And in that way, we bless, further bless and stabilize this visualization that is now the union of the commitment being, the Samaya being, and wisdom being. Om Ah Hong. Om Ah Hong. Om Ah Hong. Then from the Hung that is in the center of the Lord, light radiates out, this time inviting the empowerment deities of the 5 families to come. And they are the male and female Buddhas, Akshobhya, Ranasambhava, Amitabha, Amoghasiddhi, and Vairocana, and their consorts, the feminine counterpart, their wisdoms. And then the male and female bodhisattvas, and the male and female wrathful deities, they all come to this space in front of this universal Cakrasamvara, co-emergent Cakrasamvara. And here we make offerings to them. In our manual it says make the inner offerings. I think of the experiences of the 5 senses as offerings to the empowerment Buddhas. And here on page 30 it says, then we pray, we request, may all you Tathagatas bestow the empowerment. And because we pray in this way, then they give empowerment while reciting the empowerment mantra continuously. And the female Buddhas, which is the purity of the 4 elements, come holding vases empowerment vases to pour the elixir into us, going into our bodies, both the male and female. The Lord and the Lady of co-emergent Cakrasamvara is now being filled with the empowerment elixir as the Buddhas recite Om Sarva Tata Gata Abhishekata Samaya Shriye Hum. The entirety of both these bodies is filled with the elixir of wisdom, the empowerment liquid. So filled until the liquid overflows, and as the liquids overflow from both the bodies, the liquid that overflows in the body of the Lord turns into Buddha Akshobhya, and the liquid that overflows from the Lady Vajavarahi turns into the Buddha Vairochana. They are both now blessed with the presence of the Guru. The manual reminds us that we have to cultivate this visualization to be clear and yet having nothing that you can grasp on. Their colors are distinct, and yet they are like a rainbow. The form needs to be clear, like a reflection in a mirror that is not fuzzy. And this appearance is pervasive. It appears everywhere, like the moon's reflection in water. Some instructions from a few sources. From Nagarjuna, it says, this body is not just an empty void, but yet it is without the usual flesh, bone, blood, those substances that constitute our ordinary body, but instead like a rainbow in the sky, this form manifests. The Guhya Samaja Tantra reminds us, when we cultivate this form like this, whether cultivating it as if it's in a dream or as if it's in a magical illusion, when we cultivate in this way diligently, it will become more and more likely that we will even start to experience this visualization as vision, as no longer needing your effort, as happening, you could say, effortlessly. You see Cakrasamvara deity, co-emergent, the Lord and the Lady. Finally, Pamudrupa reminds us the purpose of cultivating idam is to abandon clinging to ordinariness. And what does clinging to ordinariness mean, kind of in practical terms? One practical implication is the ordinary actions of the 10 non-virtues of body, speech, and mind we abandon because deities do not engage in the 10 non-virtues. Instead, deities engage naturally in the 10 virtues.